Hey everyone, welcome back to another. Well, I guess this isn't really another anything. This is just a pretty random episode. So I'm a little short on content these days now that the tournaments are done and the league playoffs are coming to a close. So the games are coming in a bit slower. So quite a while ago, anyway, I posted on the War of the Ring content bit asking people that if they had fun or weird games to send me the logs for those so that I could do videos on those. So I decided to pull one of those out. So this one was sent to me from Dear Guy, a league game that he played against Bailey much earlier in the year. So I don't know what happens in this really. So they decided to do no tokens, and Dear Guy is playing Shadow. So we can see both their cards. I like seeing everything anyway. It's fun. For my sake anyway, for analyzing. Like I can see how like if I was one of the players, I can see the value in just picking one of the cards. But yeah. Anyway. So yeah, here we go. Okay, Fellowship okay. Dear Guy allocates one eye and rolls two more. Wow, that is a pretty good start for the free peoples on average in terms of racing anyway. I think I'd rather, like, if I could copy and paste this roll for round 2 every time, I would do that, because then you can get Gandalf for sure. Assuming they got Saruman turn 1 anyway. This time, of course, the Shadow player can delay getting Saruman till the last die, so you probably can't get Gandalf with that. But, of course, against 3 eyes, there's a very good chance that you would just separate and crown Aragorn right away, because yeah, you can do that, and it's just 3 eyes that you're not moving against anyway. So we'll see what Billy does. Yep, he goes for it. And he brings a Hobbit out. That's fun. So even though you don't have Fear Fire Foes or Book of Mazarbel, with the extra 2 movements that Strider's about to do, he can walk to South Erdluin and then to Tower Hills. And then if you pick up either one in the future, then you're good to go. So that's a very nice threat to keep looming over the Shadow player's head. Recalculating. Oh, okay. No, we're bringing the Hobbit. No. Okay, we are leaving the Hobbit up in Eriador. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Like, I wouldn't. It would be reasonable to bring either Boromir or Pippin with Strider, but I think on the whole, it makes more sense to leave more companions with the Fellowship, because, especially since you can't hide anymore on the cheap with Strider, you kind of gotta move when you can, because you don't know when the dice are going to let you do that again. So in general, I think keeping more of a corruption meat shield after Strider leaves makes more sense. Anyway, okay, so Strider's off to Dol Amroth, and Mary's off to Tower Hills. In comes Saruman. Aragorn is crowned, and Gondor's activated. I'm sure they'll catch that sooner or later. Wow, and he picks up Challenge of the King, turn 2. That's crazy. That is the, what do you call it? The gods of this game are blessing your choice to crown Aragorn, Okay, Black Captain commands Denethor's Folly, Scouts. Okay, so Shadow player allocates 1 eye. Interestingly, he doesn't have to allocate 1 eye here, but allocating 1's not an unreasonable choice anyway. Okay, Fellowship moves. Entirely reasonable movements. Fellowship moves, and it's hit, and it's a 3. So speed-wise, that's good, but at the same time, you've only taken 1 step, and there's no Strider, Gandalf, or a Hobbit now, so corruption is certainly looking... What's the word? It's dicey anyway. The whole game is dicey. It revolves around dice. But... Okay, Fellowship moves again. Safe this time. Armies keep moving. Yeah, definitely looking to threaten Gondor here. Which, yeah, it's always it makes life so much more interesting when Aragorn is out there, because, with his dead men shenanigans, or just making an army stronger. And he also puts a target on wherever he is, because naturally the Shadow player would love to just crumple him, and just take away that extra die per turn. But yeah, here we are. Okay, so Challenge of the King comes out. 1, 2, 2. Okay, that's a bummer. So no eyes. So that's, I think, statistically, probably 1 eye would have been most likely to get there. 3 eyes, of course, would have been absurd. So anyway, so some army movements happen. Southrons are brought closer to war. Gondor's brought closer to war. Southrons are all the way to war. Okay, pretty reasonable stuff so far. There and back again, Spirit of Mordor. Wow, 2 scouts by turn 3. That's pretty cool. What do we get over here? Lidless Eye. Wow, there's some talentedly not amazing cards here. Well, I guess, okay, the rest of them are okay, but just Lidless Eye and Threats and Promises in the first 3 turns is pretty useless. I mean, if you're going to play Threats and Promises early, is when you're going to play it. But, I mean, let's be real. We all usually want to sprint to the Witch King, so this card's pretty useless. I guess it's a bit more useful in Lords of Middle-earth anyway, where you might get the chief and then you're not activating everyone necessarily. Denethor's Folly is usually not amazing, but when you're specifically rushing Gondor early, it could be useful anyway. So, okay. So 1 eye in, and there we go. Okay, that's a very good roll for the Shadow player. Definitely want to, attack and hopefully get Gondor all the way under siege. Let's see, you've got 4 attacks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess that's not quite enough. But you do have Black Captain commands, though, so you can muster in the Witch King this turn and then play that card and hopefully wrap up Gondor this turn anyway. Okay, Fellowship moves and is safe. Attacks Pelargir. No card, no card. 1 hit back. That's about what you'd expect. I suppose that's actually a bit lucky for the free people. But... Okay, so now Gondor's at war. So we muster some regulars in Dol Amroth. And in Lambden. Yeah, I guess you do have all these scouts, so you can make some good use of them. Right, and you only have 2 musters. So this way you're at least getting a full 5 units in Dol Amroth, and you still have another muster to put another elite in Minas Tirith. So, yep, that makes sense. Okay, in comes the Witch King. Pass. Skiliath from Witch King. Thinking about card. Great Host against Scouts. That Scout feels nice for sure. So do we Scouts back to Minas Tirith, or do we... Oh, no, we're going to the Dead Marshes. Okay, exciting stuff. Are we thinking about a Free People's Military win? Or thinking about just threatening it anyway? Leaving that orc behind in North Athelia. It's fun. Okay, so we muster up that elite in Minas Tirith. Right, there's a card. Another Swarm of Bats. Nice. Actually, no, not another. That is a first Swarm of Bats. Okay, attack Minas Tirith. Goes under siege, of course. Mustering some more Nazgul. That makes a lot of sense. Especially since you're about to pivot with Black Captain commands and probably go put Dol Amroth under siege. Fellowship moves again. Is safe. There's Black Captain commands. I would have been tempted to attack Lambden with the army die first. So this, of course, doing it this way means you get the leadership and the card cycle for attacking Lambden, which is nice. But not doing it this way kind of leaves the Free People's player in doubt. Because doing it this way, he's going to see that, of course, you can attack Dol Amroth. I'm going to use this character die to run away with Aragorn before he gets put under siege. If you leave it as the Palantir, then you leave it in doubt. Like, does he have Black Captain? Does he have Ringwraiths or Abroad? He might not. And then they might leave Aragorn there, and then you might get to kill him. So, anyway, this way is probably the more safe and efficient way. But, I don't know. Sometimes it's fun to roll the dice and see what your opponent misses. So, attacking Lambden, probably playing Swarm of Bats, probably against Scouts. Yeah, Scouts get Swarm of Batsed. Yeah, that feels bad. Okay, so 1 hit. So it's certainly not a very strong army that's coming for Dol Amroth in the end. Yeah, so Aragorn runs away. I think that makes sense. I would have been tempted to go to Druathiar instead. I guess it doesn't really make a difference. And maybe Aragorn can help those 2 regulars, like, do some through a day and a night shenanigans. I don't know. Yeah, and he attacks Dol Amroth. Yeah, I agree with Billy getting Aragorn out of Dol Amroth anyway. I think in a lot of games, leaving Aragorn to help make a siege really difficult can make sense. But when it's still so early in the game, you really don't want to lose the die. And especially when it's just 4 regulars and you don't have any cards to reinforce it. Like even if you think that these 4 regulars can beat the 3-2 as the Shadow player, like if I can just, bring more reinforcements and like waste most of next turn but blow him up on turn 4, like I'm 10 out of 10 doing that. That's an amazing deal. Okay, Morgul Wound and Monsters Roused. Also fun. Riders of Theoden, House of the Stewards. So I guess that's the kind of role that makes you feel a little bit bad about not bringing Boromir. Like, getting to play House of the Stewards and Dol Amroth right now would have been pretty cool. But anyway, tomato, tomato, as they say. So I would expect Gandalf the White to show up right away. Yeah, there he is. It would be a bummer to, lose that Will of the West today without Dawn. Okay, so we finish... Yep, conquering Gondor settlements, just so they can't do any annoying musters. Free Peoples draws a card. We attack Dol Amroth. Yeah, I think focusing Dol Amroth first makes sense here, because naturally you'd want to blow it up. Like, what if he just picked up Imrahil and was going to play it? He can't play Círdan's yet, but at the same time, you kind of... If you just leave Dol Amroth under siege, you're kind of blocking yourself from going after elves, because if you do go after the elves, then you might enable Círdan's ships. I remember that happening to me when I was a newer player, and feeling like the dumbest guy in the world. So, lesson learned anyway. That's how you learn this game. You make mistakes, you lose, you feel like an idiot, and then hopefully you do better next time. Or you get mad and quit. That's the other option. Okay, Desperate Battle into Daylight. One hit. That doesn't feel amazing. Against 3 hits, that, yep, definitely does not feel amazing when your army's that fragile, too. Okay, so now it's 4 regulars against 3. That feels even less good. There's that Day Without Dawn we were talking about. Okay, there's Celeborn's Galadrim. I guess just cycling cards, hoping for Imrahil. Out comes Denethor's Folly. Yep, that always feels good. Fellowship moves, and it's safe. Oh, he drew a card. Okay, I saw this card pop up here, and I thought he was playing it. And I was like, really? You're bringing the Witch King from the front line to chill in Angmar with a couple units? That would have been a little bit silly. Okay. Leadership pivots. I think that makes sense because you're waiting for reinforcements in Dol Amroth at this point anyway. So I don't know. Maybe it would make sense to like muster an Oliphant and start marching with some of these armies, but at the same time, like Guards of the Citadel is out there too. And he might get Denethor's Folly out of the way, so it also feels good to get some of that combat done before he can play cards. So Minas Tirith, probably Swarm of Bats. Maybe Black Breath. Maybe Words of Power just for the cycle. I don't know. Yeah, Swarm of Bats. Yeah, there we are. Whoo! Okay, 4 6s. There you go. Oh, you should have just rolled that into Amroth, man. It would have helped a lot more there. Yeah. Yeah, it really does. Rolling lots of 6s is a good strategy. All the top-notch Shadow players know that rolling lots of 6s is the correct strategy. If you don't roll lots of 6s, you're just a bad Shadow player. I don't know what to tell you. We got 1 hit back from the Free Peoples. Naturally, he'd press. Might as well try to finish this off. Great Host? Maybe? It feels bad not playing that for New Powers Rising, though. Yeah, I don't know what I'd play here. Okay. Ooh, okay. Even... Yeah, no, okay, that's not insane. I personally like holding on to Day Without Dawn, especially when the Free Peoples is rolling 6 dice. Just the odds of them rolling lots of Wills of the West and you getting to, take 2 away or at least, leaving that pressure up on them for the rest of the game so that they have to worry and spend their Wills quickly. So anyway, I feel like I say a lot of the same advice every game, but that's because I have my way that I like to play, and other people are also great players and play differently. So that's like... Okay, so he takes 2 hits, and he rolls 2 hits. That's a little bit below, I think. I think you would expect to get 3 hits from that total. So that's a bummer that you don't finish it off anyway. 0 hits back, though, so that's nice. Yeah, Billy mentions they're all weaklings in Minas Tirith. Certainly hasn't gone well for him so far. Amber shows up to help defend Rohan. New Powers Rising. That makes sense. Okay, on to... What turn is this? Turn 5? Okay, so Fellowship is, well, I guess 5 steps in 4 turns isn't terrible. It's not good, though. I feel like the ideal pace Free Peoples wants to go at is 2 movement per turn. But, of course, with the Crowning Aragorn against 3 Eyes start, things are just going to be different. So it's more like, No, it really is 5 movement in 4 turns. Anyway, okay, so 1 eye in, 2 eye more rolled. Okay, so, interesting. Yeah, I don't know what else you're going to do with that other half movement. Like, you could put this dwarf from Iron Hills into Erebor, or you could walk this North Downs Elite to Edmoors. There's a lot of funky stuff you could do. I don't know. But, like, waddling around here to threaten a Free People's military win is always fun anyway. Oh, right, and of course he doesn't have to worry about spending this Will of the West first. Yeah. Billy mentions their favorite. Yeah. It's crazy how much of a difference just having a unit or 2 in a weird spot can make for pressuring and making people's lives worse, It's crazy. It really is. Okay, so he waddles some regulars back. Oh, was that 10 there? For some reason, I thought it was just 1 regular Noscula. I was wondering how the armies got depleted so much. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so he waddles some armies back. I might have been tempted to just muster instead. Or maybe bring this army over if you really want to step on these guys. Because leaving 1 and 2 out, like, he might win that fight, Like, he might just kill that regular and Dagger Lad, and then what are you going to do? Like, you can maybe attack them from north of Thillian. Like, why not bring the whole army back if you're bothering to do this? Anyway, Fellowship moves, and they're hit. It's a 1 reveal. Yeah, bummer to finally get revealed. Yeah, so he goes through Moria, takes the 1 corruption. I think that makes sense. And a 3. Eats the whole 3. I guess he wants to get away from Morgul Wound. Yeah. Because my instinct is to lose down, like, kill companions down to Gollum as fast as possible. But getting up to 4 corruption, certainly, and especially seeing as how the Shadow player has Morgul Wound in hand right now, that makes a lot of sense. Good job, Billy. Plays Morgul Wound anyway. Yeah. I think that makes sense. like you could maybe wait and hope the Free People's player plays Athelas to heal down, but given the respect that Bailey just showed to Morgul Wound by going up to 4 corruption, it seems unlikely he would do that. So, I don't know. Anyway, here we are. Okay, Rohan musters down on the political track. Regulars are moving over towards Dol Amroth. They specifically don't bring along Aragorn, probably a good call. Rohan continues mustering towards war. Shadow lengthens. I see. That was the plan. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. This is a downside to going through a game that I haven't seen before, is I look even dumber than I am, usually, because I wasn't thinking through the game the whole time first time. I'm just less familiar with all the options, and I'm trying to not take 2 hours going through this. So then moments like that happen where if I was in the game, I probably would have, thought about that as an option because I'd be staring at my cards and taking my time thinking about it. Whereas here I'm kind of just like, oh, he did that, neat, So anyway, so Shadows lengthen to bring more regulars to Dol Amroth and this army over here to deal with those 2 Gondor regulars. That makes a lot of sense. That's a great move. Okay, attacking Minas Tirith. One would think you would finish it here, wouldn't you? I'm just saying that. So I'm expecting him to cycle Words of Power here anyway. Yeah. And he gets a 6. Okay, it is indeed finished. Cheers. Okay, so now the Gondor regulars doing a little, what's the word? A little foxtrot here, kind of, am I going to Mordor? Okay, I guess I'm not going to Mordor. Let's go back to Rohan then. Oh, nope, we're thinking about it. Okay, we play Swords and Eriador instead. That's always fun. Yeah. Especially since... Oh, and now Guards of the Citadel shows up. Oh, that's classic right there. That being said, Charge can be a pretty strong combat effect. So it's still not like a bad card, but it's just classic this game mocking you, Okay, so we're attacking Dol Amroth now. No cards playable. That seems a little bit odd to me. I feel like I would rather move other armies into the fray, Anyway, like I would rather wait for the Witch King to come over next turn and have new cards to be able to play. But it's certainly not a bad choice, though. Like, especially with 10 regulars. Like, the siege is going to be slow anyway, so I might as well hit the gas now anyway. So, no card. He gets 1/6. Okay, so that's kind of worth it. So, 2 hits back, and that's that. On to the next turn. Nazgul strike, and King is revealed. Ooh, Dead Man. There it is. Exciting stuff. I missed what he threw out. Oh, well. Against Nazgul strike, and King is revealed. Okay, yep, good stuff. He undid a few things. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, I guess he wanted to keep Mirror of Galadriel instead of something else he threw out. Anyway, okay, here we are. One eye in, another one rolled. A few movement. Interesting. Okay, so we're moving characters, and we put Gandalf in Fords of Isen. And Merry in the Shire. That seems... I'm confused. Nope, Gandalf's going to Pelargir. That makes even less sense to me. Oh, no. Okay, no, never mind. So he's going to Deadman down to Pelargir and, naturally blow up these guys and bring in 3 regulars to do some more shenanigans. And Gandalf is here to join that army after it happens. Interestingly, you could have left Gandalf in West Emnet with Aragorn so that he's a little more flexible, because companions are allowed to go with Aragorn for Deadman. So I think I would have liked that better. But I guess you're also maybe threatening using We Prove the Swifter to put him in Dol Amroth, but I don't think anyone would want to put Gandalf in Dol Amroth right now. Okay, so Dear Guy sees the Dead Man shenanigans coming and puts together an army in Osgiliath to deal with it after it shows up. Fellowship moves. They get very hit. And it's an eye. Oh, that sucks. That's brutal stuff right there. Would be, Legolas dies. That's what you'd expect. And they're revealed. Yep, that hurts for sure. Okay, so attacking Dol Amroth with the strategy card. Relentless Assault. Yep, that's perfect for when you have lots of regulars to burn. And he gets his 2 hits. Okay, 1 hit back. So ends Dol Amroth. Okay, armies grouped together in Moria and Orthanc. Yeah, I guess he's getting a little suspicious about a potential Free People's military attempt after, terrible things happen to the Fellowship like this. Like being at 5 corruption, but with 5 hit points in Companion. So net 0 corruption, but you're still 3 steps away from Mordor is certainly bad shape to be in. Okay, so now the Gondor units finish walking back towards Rohan, and the dwarf walks into Erebor, mustering up a North Ank a little bit. Fellowship hides. Putting some rerolls on the Fellowship, I think that makes a lot of sense. Rohan finishes mustering to war. Not often you see that, like all 3 steps manually walking Rohan all the way to war. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we attack the Ford's Vizon from Orthanc. This is another downside to moving Gandalf, of course, is that this army is very free to move out now, and they're not scared of Ents at all. So, here we are. No card, no card. Shadow gets 2 hits. Rohan gets 3. Okay, he presses. They retreat to Helm's Deep. And we play Dead Men of Dunharrow and retake Pelargir. I don't think I would have done that just because I'm a little bit scared for Gandalf and Aragorn. Like, what if he has Ringwraiths abroad? I don't know. Okay, he draws a strategy card anyway. Like, I guess they'll be able to muster next turn, but, like, is this army really going to be able to fight the 6 regulars here and the 6 regulars there and the 4-1 over here in Daggerlad? Like, this feels like a very... It feels scary to me. I feel scared. Okay, breaking and Olog High. Now an Ents card shows up, of course. One eye in, 2 more rolled. Little movement. Naturally, that is the plus side to doing it then, is when the Shadow player has a Palantir and no rings, and Black Captain has already come, Ringwraiths Abroad is the only card that would have allowed them to attack Pelargir right then. So there was, a very strong chance that he'd be able to muster at the start of this turn. So now it's a much better fight anyway. Now it's 5 points against 6, but he has the defensive advantage and the leadership advantage with Aragorn. So it's still dicey for sure. Okay, and yeah, the armies come along. He musters up more in Pelargir. I think this makes a lot of sense from both players. Yeah, the wolves are circling around Pelargir. So what do you do? Yeah, you play Olog High. That's good. Very strong army. Whoops. Oh, that feels bad. Oh, I did that yesterday. That feels so bad. When you play a card, like you accidentally plunk down a card that, especially a crucial card like that. Oh, that feels bad. Okay, so Bailey's thinking. Of course, when you have 3 Palantirs and a character die, that's tough to deal with stuff right there. So you could use a character die to yeet Gandalf all the way back to Fangorn and then play Ents. But of course, after you just revealed that, this army's probably just going to walk back to Orthanc. And then you are at least wasting a shadow die, but you're also wasting your own character die. And then the Fellowship's not moving at all this turn. So, okay. So we draw Kindred of Glorfindel and Chuck. I missed it. Oh well. Okay, so armies move along. Okay, so we're attacking Lamedon and Shining. I think that makes sense because this army is trapped now. So if you don't attack somewhere right now, then both Gandalf and Aragorn are trapped and have to fight their way through this entire army. So I think you definitely have to attack somewhere right now. And Lamedon, at least, like if you beat this army off hard enough, then you might be able to take Dol Amroth. So there we go. So Free People strategy card, probably advantageous position. Nope, no quarter. That works too. 3 + 1, 4 hits. Yep, that's not bad. 2 hits back. Press, and naturally he retreats to Dol Amroth. I'm a little surprised he doesn't take all the regulars with him, because if it were me anyway, I would certainly want to, still... I would want to bring all the troops so that I can attack Dol Amroth, but I guess this way it makes it more inefficient for him to chase after you, so that's something. Okay, so the Witch King's coming after him, attacking Pelargir. Rage of Dunlendings against Confusion. I'm a little surprised he takes 1 hit for that, because you should get a 6 anyway. Yeah, there's your 6. Okay, so I do some damage back. Chasing after them. Uses a ring to attack Dol Amroth. I find that surprising. Well, I guess I see the reasoning there. So because the Shadow player only has 1 more attack, you, they can follow him to Lamedon, and then at the start of next turn, he can try to retake Dol Amroth. But even then he'll put you under siege, and then Gandalf and Aragorn are trapped with a not that strong army. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we take Edoras, and the army is chasing. And we play Kindred of Glorfindel just to cycle cards. That makes sense. Okay, Elven Rope and Book of Mizarble. Palantir. And there's Corsairs. Wow, good timing, Corsairs. Okay, let's see. Expecting him to chuck threats and promises. If it's anything else, I'll be disappointed. There goes threats and promises. Good, good. Okay. So re-rolling, because that is the only fair way to do it. Okay. Moves, characters first. That's probably the safest way to do it. Yeah, because you at least, get to stay at 6 dice instead of 4 this way. What's Helm's Deep under siege? Okay, I guess that makes sense because Rohan is at war and you want to put it under siege before they can reinforce. You are letting them have a chance to take Dol Amroth here, but it's not a very strong chance, And yet at the same time, he has a no quarter, so he could attack, and he does only have 3 dice, but if one of them is a 6, then he's got it. So that would be kind of a big deal. It's maybe worth a shot. He musters in Rohan first. I think that makes a lot of sense. Puts down the Palantir, musters more in Rohan. She lobs Lair and gets to draw a card. Musters more in Rohan. Expecto Patronum. There's an army. Okay, attacks Dol Amroth from the Witch King. That makes sense. Uses a Deadly Strife here. That feels like overkill to me. Oh, he gets some hits anyway. Okay, Dol Amroth is hereby liberated. Cheers. Fellowship moves, and it's hit, and it's a 1. Bummer. Yeah, on the last die of the 5, too. Like, if it wasn't for those rerolls, then he would have actually gotten a safe movement. But alas, it is not to be today. Okay, armies are moving and getting ready. Okay, cool. So those 2 Gondor regulars have now met up with the Rohirrim, and they're thinking about doing some shenanigan-y stuff here. I'm excited for it. Okay, so he uses the ring to move. Interesting. Okay, so I guess this army is going to go up to Woodland Realm, or they're going to defend Dol Guldur. No, if he was going to defend strongholds, he would have stayed with Moria, I think. The elves are not at war, and that helps a lot. Okay, I'm not sure what he chucked there, but anyway, here we are. Fellowship declares away from the rerolls. That's nice for sure. And he rolls that. So I would expect him to move first. Book of Mazarbel. Okay. I guess he's just going for the Free People's military win at this point. Okay, so now the dwarves are at war. That's fun. And of course, you get Gandalf and Aragorn with this cool army in Rohan there. Okay, the Witch King and the big army is after them. Oh, Pass of the Woses is a thing. That's right. Okay, so he can hit the Pass of the Woses button and jump on the far side of the Witch King and go to Osgiliath right now. And, if the Shadow player was blind, then you could just walk into Mordor and take a couple strongholds. Okay, so we attack West Emnet. Okay, I guess we can also threaten Northanc. That's fun, too. Maybe hoping to get the Witch King to chase after you so that he can't immediately turn and attack you. That makes sense. Okay, so he gets 4 hits, so that is a very dead warg. The warg gets 1 hit back, so that helps. Attacks Old Forest Road, no card in our card, 1 hit, 0 hits. North is 1 step to war. Mustering up some more in Rohan. Attacking Fold, no card. Cycling Flocks. Kills the Rohan guy. Mustering a warg. Yeah, I think maybe he should have done that first, because if he had through a day and a night, he could have just walked into Orthanc right there. To be fair, that wouldn't kill Saruman or the Palantir, but then, of course, a companion could waddle to Fangorn, and then you could play an end card, and then Saruman would be cooked. So, anyway. Fellowship moves, and is hit. That's frustrating. When it's been a bad game, and you move, and it's supposed to be safe, and you get hit, that feels so bad. So it's a 2. Loses Gimli to it. I think that makes sense. Mustering more in Orthanc. Fellowship moves again, and it's a hit. And it's a not revealed, so that's a bummer. So Shadow Player does not have Cruel Weather, but if he did, that would have been that would be rough stuff for sure. Okay, attacking West Emnet from Helm's Deep. Interesting. I would have expected you to attack him from the Witch King, because this is the army that you want to stay strong for the siege, but anyway. I guess it's more leadership against Gandalf's Shining this way. Okay, Onslaught against the Ents. Why are you playing Onslaught here? Okay, 3 hits anyway. Against 4 from Bailey? Oh, no, only 3 leadership reroll. That's what he's pointing out. So, okay, 3 back from Bailey. Oh, right, plus the 2 from the cards. 5. Things are a little bit confused here. Okay, so now the Gandalf army is attacking Helm's Deep back again. I see. Now you can get those troops with you from Helm's Deep, and hopefully, yeah, this is kind of what what a desperate Free People's Games hope lives on. You know, having this army and Paths of the Woses together means that you could yeet Osgiliath, and if the Shadow player just rolls like an apocalyptic turn, like all eyes and Palantirs, then you could Paths of the Woses, bloop bloop bloop, and you win. You know. So anyway. Oh, right, because Desperate Battle means that he's already got 4 hits. So, and he gets only 1 hit back. So that's a very good run for the Free Peoples there. Okay, but the Witch King is coming after them. Not that he can really win that fight anymore, but anyway. Oh, and there's Through a Day and a Night. Oh, this is epic stuff. Very epic stuff. That's exciting. Or even if you don't want to try a military win, you could also pass the Woes as a chunk here and try to retake Minas Tirith just to buy even more time. Or run to Pelargir and muster up even more and retake Dol Amroth. And, you know, like, crazy stuff. Okay, so a couple more eyes rolled. Oh, and now he picks up Cruel Weather. Classic. Oh, no, that was an accidental draw. Okay. Okay, so we muster in Air. Okay, 1 regular in Erebor, 1 regular in Helm's Deep. That makes sense. So let's see. The Shadow player is at 6 points, so they just need 4 more, and they do have a big army on the Dew line, so I guess thus the mustering in Erebor. Wait, did they muster in Erebor? They didn't. What'd they do? Oh, they put a leader in Erebor. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, they put a red tile in. That makes sense. Mustering up more in Helm's Deep in Erebor. Forks and Goblin Men in West Emnet. And here we go. As the Woes of stuff. Okay. Yeah, because you certainly can threaten Through a Day and a Night and then trying to take Barad-dûr, but because you only have 3 dice, 1 Through a Day and a Night, 1, 2, like, and he has muster, so he'll be able to muster, but if it's a bad roll next turn, then maybe you can pull it off, you know. That being said, I think if you were going for the Free People's Military win, you would have brought more of the troops from Helm's Deep. So I think his plan at this point is to retake Helm's Deep and use his 6 dice to get these blue tiles and Athelas in there and you know, hope for a lucky run up the Mordor track. Okay, Shadows Gather. Ooh, cool. Okay, so he decided that he definitely didn't want... I don't know how many of your problems solves, though. Like, that solves one problem but leaves another open. Like, now you're definitely not getting Helm's Deep, but you're definitely keeping Minas Tirith, so... I don't know. Okay, so he goes for the Through a Day and a Night into Mordor. That's exciting stuff. Okay, so naturally he musters and goes forth to conquer, and the Witch King's coming after him. Attacks Barad-dûr. Witch King is continuing to come after him. Okay, there's another way in King Brand. Oh, he takes a corruption for not going forward, though. That's a bummer. Things are a little confused. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, the eyes go in. Lots of attacks this turn, so he can probably get Barad-dûr, but the question is, can he hold on to Morannon? I think the answer is no. Like, that is a big and strong army there, and there are enough attacks there for sure. Okay, so he goes after Barad-dûr, playing a character card. Andúril, I guess? Yeah, probably that. Yeah. Okay, so he gets his 1 hit, doesn't get hit back. So he's up to 4 points, but he has to keep it, and that seems unlikely. Honey, I'm home. That's funny. Okay, there comes King Brand's men to try to hold on a bit more. Wow, fighting Uruk-hai on Minas Morgul. I have never seen that before. That is really cool. Probably unnecessary, but cool, though, for sure. So naturally, Gandalf will be shining to cancel most of the leadership. There's still one from the Warg, though. You could have even actually used this to bring in the Mouth of Sauron there first to have even more leadership. I think that's what I would have done. But, although, actually, I guess the settlement is conquered, so never mind. I don't think he can. Okay, so Gandalf shines. Right, Billy points out that he does get to play a card. Yeah. It doesn't show up a lot. You're used to getting to, not let your opponent play a card. What do you call it? It's easy to forget about. Anyway. Okay. Confront from Great Host, 1 hit back. Shield Wall against Onslaught. He just rolls 3 6s, though. Yeah, there you go. That's how you win right there. So it's very sad, of course, when Gandalf dies like that. In go the blue tiles. Witch King's coming after Aragorn. Aragorn runs away. I think that makes sense. So I think he actually has to stop and do a Shadow Stronghold. So I think that's incorrect. So he could have moved from Barad-dûr to, well, either Gorgoroth or Nirn or Minas Morgul or Morannon, but he can't move past either of those strongholds. But that's okay. Probably doesn't make a huge difference. Fellowship moves. Yeah, back to plan A. 2R. Naturally out goes Boromir. Attacking Barad-dûr again. No card. So I don't think you really need to bother attacking. No, I guess you might as well take Barad-dûr just in case that bad roll does happen next turn. Like, maybe these Helm's Deep guys are going to come get Orthanc. Maybe the elves are going to get to war someday and walk into Moria. I don't know. Okay, so they press. There's a hit. Whoever these rolls against. Yeah. Because if he just rolled apocalyptically badly against Gandalf, then yeah, would have been Free People's Military win this round. Okay, press. No card. Where were they? Okay, just no hits being rolled at all. They press some more. No card. There's the hits. Okay. Fellowship hides. Musters and Orthanc. Nope, in comes the Mouth of Sauron. There it is. Yep. Okay, so up to 10 dice against 5. Oh, it feels bad being down to 5 dice after being at 6 dice. 1 eye in, no more added. Decent roll of movement for the Fellowship. So I would expect Elven Rope to be played, then some movements to be done, and there's another way to be played. Like, it's still looking grim, but at least you have time militarily, Like, he is at 6 points, but he is nowhere. Well, okay, not nowhere. Never mind. This army can get Woodland Realm, but Erebor would be tough. Dale would be like it'll be tough to deal with the dwarves afterwards anyway. And also this army can certainly threaten retaking Edoras. So anyway, Fellowship moves. It's a 2. That isn't ideal, but at least you get to bring in Gollum and reveal Sealder's Bane. It's an eye. Oh, classic. Yeah. What did the hunt pool look like? To be fair, there were 4 eyes in there. But yeah, there's a 3 in there that would have been pretty ending. Getting any of these would have been good. Red 1 would have been debatable. I'd rather have not drawn that as Shadow. Shelob, of course, would have been good too. Okay, Fellowship hides. Was after Woodland Realm. They forget to move the elves to war because the elves are always at war by this point in the game, but they're still not. Like, when was the last time you saw turn 12 and the elves are still on step 3? I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before. Okay, so the Nazgul show up, and they're attacking. Oh, I see the Black Captain and a couple Nazgul joined the Wargs and Orthanc for some reason. That seems odd to me. Like, why wouldn't you bring the Witch King for the cycle? Oh, well. Oh, and the other nice thing about Gandalf being dead is that now Ent cards can't be played. Like, even if these guys walk out and there's a companion of Fangorn, like the Ent cards specifically say, play if Gandalf the White is in play and a companion is in Fangorn. Like, Gandalf the White is no longer in play, and he won't be again this game. So, okay, so Deadly Strife gets 3 hits, neatly ending that siege. Okay, yeah, now they notice and put the elves to war. Mustering up more in Orthanc. Out comes the army after Helm's Deep. I'm a little surprised he doesn't use that Will of the West to muster in Helm's Deep, but at the same time, I guess you're kind of just No, you really do need that stronghold to hold on to give you more time. So I don't know. Anyway, he draws a card. Drawing a card to help combat wise makes a lot of sense too, though. Yeah. Puts Helm's Deep under siege. Draws another card for combat's sake. X Helm's Deep. I also would have been tempted to use that Palantir for putting Elven Rope in and then moving again this turn. Just hope it holds on right now and then finish dunking next turn. That would have been my plan anyway. But at the same time, like how much do you really want to gamble on this strong holding out? Like a Deadly Strife makes a big difference. So, but on the other, like the hit point advantage isn't that big. It's 9-6, so decent odds. Anyway. Okay, so 5 hits from the Shadow player, though. That hurts for sure. And only 4 hits back, actually. No, that's only 5, Billy. Like, that 2 is not a hit, because the Ents Rage only helps on the combat roll. So anything but a 1 was a hit on the combat roll, and then your leader reroll would have hit on 3 and up. So I wonder if they noticed that or not. Nope, they don't notice. Okay. Anyway. Now that Stronghold is probably cooked since Deadly Strife. So now I guess. Oh, anyway. Fellowship moves, and it's Shelob. Okay, so 5 or 6, and it's over. Yep, 5. There you go. So it probably would have ended militarily this turn anyway, but it ends by corruption first. So because Shelob be do like that. She do indeed be do. So, well, on the other hand, there was a heroic death he could have played. But there was also Desperate Battle, so like still decent odds that he probably would have finished Helm's Deep anyway. So I think that was pretty well played on both players. Yeah, so it's a real fun. Like, how often do you see, Aragorn show up, play Challenge of the King, and Deadman, and Paths of the Woses, and go conquer Barad-dûr, and then come back out again? So pretty cool stuff. Cool stuff for sure. Let's take a look at statistics. Okay, so this is the bug where it's just all the dice are on one player side. So overall, it was +8 on 6s and -5 on 5s. So in general, that would mean the Shadow player probably had a better time. +6 on H's, that helps. -5 on Palantirs, that kind of helps. It helps less when you have Palantir or Thank up for the whole game. +5 on characters, that helps more if the Fellowship doesn't, get hit by a truck every time it moves. Anyway, fun game. So if you guys have also fun games that you would like to send me, please do. Make sure with your opponent that your opponent's on board. Dear Guy mentioned that he checked with Billy, and Billy was okay with me doing a video on this one. And please try to send me the passwords and the file if you do. If I have to go look it up in the game reports, then I see who wins, and that kind of spoils the result for me a little bit. So, yeah. Or if you have an idea for a strategy video for me to do, those are always fun too. So, anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.